And
I've been
unmasked.
unmasked.
Awesome. Okay. So, your name is Lamar.
Lamark.
Lamark.
Yes, gotta give it a K at the end.
Gotta do the K.
Yes.
Okay, Lamark. It's a pleasure to meet you, Lamark.
Nice to meet you too, Alex.
I'm super excited to be able to sit down with you and stuff. I think you've been to some of the industry nights and stuff here, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm pretty sure my first industry night here, I'm pretty sure I saw you because I recognize the fan.
Oh yeah, you gotta have a fan.
Is that like your signature thing?
It's my
Yeah?
signature.
Okay, I like it. I used to, when I was in school, I used to make those kind of fans out of paper.
Did you really?
Stuff.
Oh, with the paper fan.
Yeah, it's where like you would just like
Okay,
fold
yeah.
it and stuff and like staple it and like decorate it and stuff, and I deck it out with like staples or tacks or whatever
Oh, that's cute.
paper clips I can find, and like just drawing on it and stuff. And then I remember the first like Chinese fan I got, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. I mean, I lost in like 2 seconds, but.
No, this one right here, I actually I was judging this drag queen show, and she had this fan. She kept flopping, and
Really?
I was like, well, when I drink and I'm out, I'm like, I perspire, you know what I'm saying? I still want to look cute too, so I seen this fan flopping on. I'm like, okay, it's a signature, and it also can keep me cool. Yeah, and it became one of my things that I do.
That is awesome. Plus, I mean, living in Phoenix, it probably helps keep you nice and cool when you need to.
Yes, absolutely.
So do you keep it on you like at all times then?
I actually have a box full of them. I'm going to be selling a few of them for the Beyonce concert coming up. And I'm
Really?
Slogans on them, yeah.
Really?
I always think about what's current and what's going on and how I can make a quick buck too.
Yeah, I didn't even know Beyonce was coming.
Yeah, she'll be here August 24th.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. In Glendale.
Awesome. Go ahead and talk a little bit closer. It's not the highest quality microphone, so
all right.
I just want to make sure that they're able to hear your voice
Can y'all
good
hear
enough. Well, that's awesome. So is this kind of the design for you, like what you go for?
So this is one of my looks. This is actually an out of town look that I had got. What I did with a friend. She was going to Houston. She just like opened her business up, and she wanted to go to Houston and have a good time. So I was like, okay, let me make a couple of looks for Houston. Yeah. And it actually worked out because Houston was very hot and humid. It was extremely humid. Arizona is it's a dry heat.
Right.
There it was just like wet, humid. So I thank God I had made it like this because it's like I can
very
get some
breathable.
air through it. The material is breathable. So yeah, this is one of my looks. I always like to think about stuff where I can still look cute. When you walk in the room, you're gonna turn your head and you can say, "Ooh, I like that." Because I was walking through the mall today. I talk fast, so you can tell me slow down.
No, you're good.
I'm from down south. I was walking through the mall and I just seen a couple of people just turning their heads saying, "Oh my God, I like your shirt! I like your shirt! I like your shirt!" And that's the kind of things that I think about when I'm making garments. And I think how I got started. I'm sure we're gonna get into this.
Yeah.
But I kind of got started with just. You'll go shopping and you go to these events and you want to stand out. And at this time I didn't know how to sew. And so I would go shopping to different malls and stuff like that. It's like the same shirt, but a different color, different pattern in a different store. And I'm like, this is not working. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to learn to sew. And that's kind of how I got started.
Yeah?
So just a little bit.
Okay. So obviously we found out how you kind of got into doing it. What's your inspirations then behind the actual designs themselves of like how do you come up with something, because obviously like this almost gives me like a blazer kind of feel, especially around the shoulders, but at the same time it's very like it's just a lot more like fashion forward type of thing. So how does like the design process for you work?
So it started out with materials for me, and what I do is go to the fabric store or I go online and I'll say, what color am I feeling? I've done red, I've done yellow, I've done pink. Let's do green this time. You know what I'm saying? And so I'll go to the fabric store, I'll walk around, and I'll actually let the fabric speak to me. And then for whatever occasion as well that I'm, wearing the outfit to, I'll look at each fabric, I'm touching, I'm looking, and I'm envisioning. I don't sketch. I don't do anything like that. I'm a really big dreamer. So I like sit back and look how I would look in a room or how I would look for whatever situation that I'm going to be a part of. And then I started thinking about, okay, well, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, let's do that. And then it just started coming, Yeah. It's not really like a formula to it. I guess that is my formula, is to just let it organically come to me, and then I just create.
Okay. And so for this one, like the leaves and all that kind of stuff, is that your design or is that design of the fabric?
It's a design of the fabric.
Okay.
But it's pretty much the way you cut it out on the fabric, because it's on the fabric it looks one way.
Yeah.
But then when you create your pattern piece and you lay it on top of the fabric, you can angle the detail, however you want it to look on you, with from how you lay the pattern on the fabric. If that
Gotcha.
makes sense. I know I'm talking designer right now, but
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, like I'm not the most forward fashion person. I'm very much, I have like a minimalistic type of taste of like plain colors
Yeah.
and just make something work. But that's just because that's who I am. That represents
and
my
I
personality.
tried it. Sometimes I try to tone it down. It just don't never
And
work.
it doesn't work for everybody.
It
A lot of
don't.
times, like I was telling the last guest that a lot of times it just represents your personality.
Yeah.
If you, for me, I have a very simplistic mentality. I don't put a lot of thought into what I wear because my thought and creativity gets expressed elsewise.
Absolutely.
Versus like fashion designers like yourself, a lot of times this is how you express yourself. This is where
And I
your
was just
creativity
gonna
comes
say that.
from.
I was just gonna say that
Yeah.
from you. Yeah, that's pretty much how I like. If I didn't know anyone in this room, I would create a piece that it becomes a conversation where
Yeah.
people feel welcome to come talk to me, and then we start talking
Right.
about what I got on or what I got coming up next and how this got created. Like this,
Right.
that's my way of doing it. Like this is your way, mine is fashion.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'll express mine through maybe photography or through a conversation or doing that, but that's just my medium for expressing my
Absolutely.
creativity versus like when you look at my closet, it's the most boring closet in the world. But I don't look at it. I look at that as I can choose what I can wear in 5 seconds or
Yeah,
less, and I can be
yeah.
on my way to go do this, or I can be on my way to go do that. Versus
Yes.
someone else.
I'm like, okay, I gotta wear this
Yeah.
for this, and then gotta match with this. It's lit outside, and
But it's
I don't
more
wanna
than just
be-
choosing something to wear for you. It's more of this is representing who you are. This is representing
My
how you
brand,
want
yeah.
people to see you, how you want to be represented to other people.
Absolutely.
So it's a completely different thing. Like for you, maybe editing isn't going like you'll just put a couple things together. For me, I'm like, no, I want effects in there. I want animation styles. I
Makes
want
sense.
music. I want all this. So it's everyone has
Yeah.
their own types of mediums
Yeah.
that they'll definitely put a lot more effort into certain types of things.
I totally agree.
So, but I mean, I like it a lot.
Thank you.
It's simple, but yet it's like you said, it's eye catching. It's very
Yes,
like
yes.
you're going to be noticed for sure.
Yes.
Not in a way that's like, who the fuck is that
Right.
guy? But it's like, wow, okay, this guy is not afraid to like express
No,
himself a little bit.
seriously,
He's not
seriously.
afraid to show who he is through what he wears.
Absolutely. I try to keep my fashions. This one that I'm doing, this collection is going to be a little bit more out of the box because I'm my definition for me in my fashion is to not to be too intimidating, but still alluring, effective, and creative at the same time. So that's when I think about when I'm making a look.
Yeah.
This time with this collection that I'm going to do at Arizona Fashion Week, it's called the Structured Celebration. So I'm gonna use the structure comes from like the pieces. It's going to be structured pieces.
Okay.
You know? And then the celebration is going to be kind of the materials that I use to create the structured pieces with. If
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So what kind of mediums do you typically go for? I just learned the term medium, so I'm utilizing the shit out of it. I know I learned it in art class a little while ago, but I was playing a trivia
Say
game.
what you
And
think mediums mean.
it's like the material that you use, right? Am I correct about that?
Sort of, kind of.
Sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess what kind of materials do you typically use? I'm all over here trying to be all.
No, you're
I
good,
know
you're good,
fashion.
you're
I
good.
know fashion.
No, you're good. That's pretty much it. But so I use all kind of materials. I don't like feeling tied down or in the
Okay.
box or anything. I like to use materials that speak to me. Like if
Okay.
it's shiny, if it's sparkly, if it has like an amazing dope pattern on it.
Yeah.
Women, I try to tend to more stretchy materials because the curves and stuff like
Right.
that. God's more structured and not too much stretch to it, but sometimes we need a little stretch as well. And then also, I try to stick true to myself. Like this is me. This is me. So I try to stick true to myself as far as in like my stuff are not for you going to an office and you working a 9 to 5. My stuff is for when you having that like that gala moment when you have that Christmas party. When you
Going to
have,
an art museum or
yes,
something.
going to an art museum or you going out for prom or stuff
Right.
like that. Like, that's where I come in at, So I try to pick fabrics that pretty much match my vibe, and it's really not hard. Like it's always going to be some kind of sparkly something, some kind of word somewhere at any fabric store. LA, oh my God, I went out there last year to do the showcase for Arizona Fashion Week, and that was my first time going to LA and shopping for fabrics. And
really?
It was my very first time. I had been sewing for like 4 years at that time, and I was like a kid in the candy store. It was so much different fabrics, different textures, different patterns, different. I mean, everything. It should just been named different block. You know what I'm saying? Because it was so many places that you can go for and shop. And the prices were cheaper than also Arizona because you have so many people out there shopping.
Right.
You know, in Arizona, you got to raise it because, they actually buy from them to, when I'm out there shopping, they're like, oh, you in Phoenix, Arizona? Yeah. We send fabric down to SAS all the time. SAS is a fashion, not a fashion, but a fabric store.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, absolutely love it. Like I just try to keep myself in a way where I'm not second guessing anything. I don't know if you have it, but sometimes as a creator, you have that voice in the back of your head.
It's louder than I'd like to admit.
And it's loud, so I have to tell that voice to shut the F up sometime and just believe in me, you know, and focus on what I like to do, and because that's what's easy. That comes to me very easy.
Yeah.
Like that's something I don't have to question. Like a lot of people sketch their looks. I don't have to sketch a look because I can already know
this is in your head.
What I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm looking at like a Project Runway or something like that, I would look at the outfit and I'm like, oh, I would do this so different than I would do how they did this, and then I should start pulling inspiration and just start creating from there.
Right. So do you have kind of like a pattern of typical what like people when they see your stuff? Do you have kind of like a recognizable pattern that someone, if they saw your work, they can know it's you? Like obviously some of the top brands, like I'm gonna be the most generic possible because it's the generic, but like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, all of them, like you see a certain pattern, like the checker thing, you know that's Louis. You see the red, you see this, like certain types of things to where it's like
So my stuff, I can just give you this next example. This guy, I didn't go to the event. He was going to this fashion event. And he came to me prior to, he was like, hey, Lamark, I want, you to make me an outfit for this event that's coming up. I want to be, kind of like royal, but avant-garde at the same time and also fitting, woo-woo. I said, okay, good. I don't mind doing that. And so I just, started thinking about what I wanted to do. And I thought about like these long draped sleeves that's down to the ground and like this studded type of material with like these studded diamonds already on the fabric. And then I just like cut his pants where it was like tailored at the same time. And then he went to the event. He was taking pictures of the red carpet, and it was like, is that Lamark Cole? And he was like, I got this. Yeah, he said, hey, I got this the whole time. Everybody kept asking me, is this Lamark Cole? I think because my stuff is just super dramatic, and then it's also not intimidating as well. Yeah. It's something that you would want to come to somebody and be like, oh, what do you got on? I want to touch it. I want to feel it, And then it's also just alluring. Like it just makes you want to be like, who is that person over there? And what do they do? And where do they buy this from? It has a lot of personality, and I have a really big personality, good and also bad.
I like that.
Yes. So I try to put that into my pieces. I always think about. How if I was like, I'm doing a fashion show, I was thinking about what would the audience feel like. Do they want to just see there and sit there and just watch you a model walk up and down, or do they want to grab their phone and be like, what is this? Oh my God, he killed it!
Right.
Like it's an experience for them. So I always think about that as well when I'm doing like fashion shows, because I want it to be experience. I want you to be spending your money on something where you feel like you got the most value out of.
Okay.
So. That's how I roll.
I like that though. I like that. Like it's not too eye catchy, but it's eye catchy enough to where it creates the interest.
Yes, because sometimes you don't want to like, especially if it's somebody else's event, you don't want to upstage them.
Right.
And I've done it a couple of times, and nobody said that to me, but I can kind of tell the vibe.
Yeah.
So now I'm more mindful of like my outfits before I create.
Honestly though, that's not always a bad thing. Like obviously, if it is a specific event for somebody else and you don't want to upstage them, that's one thing. But you got to make yourself known. You got to make it to where it's like, hey, I need to make my own connections. I need to utilize my own tools and stuff. I need to make sure people know that I exist as well.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what I think about when I'm doing like like an event like this. This is no bars. Like I'm not thinking about how someone else feels.
Oh no, this is you.
This is me, and this is me putting my brand out there. I've been told sometimes like, not me, but I've heard that, he stole the show, he did that. And I'm like, oh my God, I did what I was supposed to do because that's what I'm supposed to do.
Good. You stole the show. That means you did what you're supposed to do as a brand. as like a brand person, like
And
someone.
sometimes I used to get really like in my feelings about that, like because going in, that's never the intention. Like, oh, I'm finna knock this person head off. I'm finna knock this person. My main intention is I want to make sure they love me. I want to make sure they love this. I want to make sure that showing up as Arizona fashion designer in the right way, in the best light. And so those are like, that's what I'm going into. And then when I hear other stuff, it's just like, man, like that wasn't even my intentions, you know. But what can you do?
Honestly, well, that like you said, what can you do? Because in those kind of instances, it's not, you're not controlling their emotions. It's them in their head with the competitive stuff.
Yes.
You're not directly trying to say, I'm going to compete with you and beat you. That's not your direct intention. It's not a competition. Like, I can have clothes from every designer that walked that stage. I'm not limited to be like, you know, I only want Lamar.
Right.
I only like, obviously if I just only want Lamar, that's one thing, but it's not like, oh, you have to sign a contract to only have Lamar. It's like if for some reason that you are beating out the competition, the fact that there's competition is only in their head. The fact that, like, okay, that just means that they need to work on being more presentable, being more out there.
Right.
Like, yes,
and
you might be.
I've been in those situations where I've competed with other people.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, okay, well, you need to just step it up. You got more work to do.
Yeah.
And then that's how I took it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I'm continue on taking things like that. I really don't listen too much what anybody say about me, because I know like my heart, and I know where I come from, and like what my true intentions are.
Right.
And so it's just very important to me to just be true to myself and just continue on moving in the way that I'm moving, because this is what's paying my bills. This is what's making me happy. This is what like literally wakes me up in the morning, you know? So I don't really let it affect me. I mean, it used to when I was young. When I was younger, it did. And I was like, oh, no, I didn't try to do that, you know? Like, but now it's like, whatever.
I feel like especially in today's day and age, especially in the creative fields, the whole thing with comparative value is such an issue. Like, even in podcasting. Obviously, like, there are over 3 million podcasts. It's not limited to just one. But then you go to charts and stuff, and you see who's number one, who's number two, who's number three. And it's just instilled almost in you that you have to be the best of the best. You have to be top. You have to beat out the competition. And it's like, well, I mean, technically, like, I listen to 6 different podcasts right now. They're not technically in competition. I'll listen to one, just depending, like, for me, it depends on the guest or whatever. Or it's like for clothes and stuff. It's not, I'm not going to, like, there are some people that only stick to one brand, but that's not just because they're better. It could be message. It could be because it's their friend. They're trying to support their friend. There's so many things, and just the comparative value, I feel like, takes a lot of the actual artisticness out of it, because it's not at that point trying to express yourself through your art. It's at that point of what can be better than him.
Yes, and for me, I'm never gonna do that. It just doesn't work. My drive and passion doesn't work with that type of gas.
Right.
Like, I need the gas of, okay, well, what do we want to do? How do we want to how do we want to upstage ourselves from last year? You know what I'm saying? How can I make myself better than what I did last year? And so I'm always thinking about that. I'm not thinking because I'm thinking about when you start thinking about like competition wise, it takes away the fun, the passion, and just whatever you you know put into it. You're like you said, you compare to yourself, like, what can I do to be better than him? Other than, okay, I'm doing this for me. This is an outlet of how I express myself and really showcase what I can do as far as in my industry, and how I can motivate and inspire other people that look like me or don't look like me. And that's my main thing. Like, I always want to be a representation of somebody that's motivating and inspiring any individual in any industry to like continue to push forward their dreams. Because I grew up with my mom. She was just like, no, you go to school for a bachelor's degree in business and that's it. And I did that. I wanted to go to art school, but now I'm like, no, I'm going after my dream. Like, and ever since I've like quit the job and put 10 toes down on this, it's been paying off. Like, I don't work a 9 to 5. This is my 9 to 5.
That's incredible.
My 24 hour. You know what I'm saying? Because you work a 9 to 5 to work 8 hours, and you go to entrepreneur to work hours all through the night and day long. You know what I'm saying?
You're never getting off.
But it's something you love, so you're not gonna.
It doesn't feel like work.
It don't feel like work. You know, you're not like, oh, I gotta get up and make this outfit for this girl. No, it's like, oh, I can't wait to see how this outfit gonna look. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how my mind works.
What was the process of? Because I'm assuming you had a 9 to 5 before.
Yes.
So what was the process like going from the 9 to 5 to being able to pursue this full
Oh
time?
my God, Alex, it was so bad. So bad, Alex.
Tell me about it.
I moved down here 2016 with my boyfriend, and we didn't have a car. We was getting on the train, and I'm like, we just like trying to build. You know, I know I wanted to do something in fashion. I know I was gonna do it here. My boyfriend, he was already doing makeup, and so we working these 9 to 5s. He's okay with his 9 to 5 because he's okay. You know, he's a makeup artist, but he's not like, I'm like one of those people like I can't do two like that. Like you can't have so much of my energy over here where I'm just like pressing down everything else. And so I'm working these 9 to 5s. It was either I was getting fired or I was quitting, or I wasn't showing up, or I was coming in late. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So so my last job that I was working with. A guy came on and he was like, it was my manager and there was another guy who came on, and he's like, so what's going on? Why are you always coming in late, or you're not showing up, or and I'm like, well, I have this show coming up and I'm working on this outfit. I have a couple clients to do this, and what sparked me to get the hell out, he said to me, anything outside of this is irrelevant. Yeah, he said anything outside of your 9 to 5, what pays your bills, with is irrelevant. Your focus should be on this, and anything else is secondary, and you handle that on another time.
No.
And when he said that to me, I think he thought I was really listening to him, and I'm thinking like, who would tell somebody don't pursue their dreams or don't pursue what they calling is for? And so I'm sitting there looking at him, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm finna get ready and quit. Like I'm like shaking in my insides is like boiling. And I'm like, he just told me F my dreams and focus on dealing with people with mortgages. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I talked to my boyfriend because we have our place together, and I say I don't think this is for me anymore. I think I need to put all my eggs into this. Just give me a good 6 months and let me just really push it out, because up until then I had already did a bunch of fashion shows out here. I was doing sewing classes, I was selling my fans, and like I was productive for what I was doing, but I wasn't really capitalizing because I was splitting my time. And that, I don't know if like working a 9 to 5 and you're talking to people on the phone and hearing like their issues.
Yep.
All that stuff soaks into you, and then by the time you get done with dealing with that 9 to 5, you can't even really put your energy to which is what you really want to put it towards, because you just been sucked dry.
Yeah.
Even if you're working from home, you listen to these people issues. Because I was thinking like, okay, I could do mortgage. It's easy. I'm just, and these are people just on board. Like they just got their house, and I'm thinking they finna be happy to. Yeah. Oh no, it was like a whole 360. They was like pissed off because they didn't know they had this in escrow or had the it was like crazy. And it was just too much. It was taking too much of my energy, and I feel everything. I'm always like that person. Like I can feel the energy. Like Alex, you're giving great energy. I feel comfortable. Like
thank you. That's my job.
Yeah, and you're doing a really good job. So when I'm doing this thing with the 9 to 5, and I'm listening to all this stuff, and then I'm getting off of work, and I'm trying to, because I promised somebody a look, and I'm halfway through the look, but I can't finish the look because I'm drained. I was like, no, this ain't for me. And then I just don't care what the guy telling me. Anything outside this is, throw it away, So I was like, okay, this is not for me to talk to my boyfriend. And he say, okay. And I went full-fledged with my sewing classes, which was a really good hit. So I had some nice income coming in, and I was able to do some passion projects to like kind of really get my footing out there. Okay. And it just was going up from there. You know what I'm saying? Like the support out here in Arizona, I can say is really great. Yeah. You have the good eggs, you have the bad eggs, come with everything. But I at this point, I know how to navigate through it. And the ones that love me and support me, you can feel it, you can see it. And the ones that don't, or have whatever they have about it, it doesn't mean anything to me. Right. I'm gonna still be my nice, kind self to you, and move along.
That's awesome. No, I like that, and that's definitely been a big issue of mine, is making that transition. Mm-hmm. Like even right now, like I technically don't have a 9 to 5 anymore. Yeah, okay. But doing enough freelance stuff, like
to cover.
It's exhausting, but the fact, like, so I'm in like a certain spot, and I'm gonna be looking back at this, and I love doing that because I love looking back at these times. Like I remember being in that spot, but like being in that spot of like I don't have technically predictable income right now. I don't have the security of like a 9 to 5 of like, oh, I get X amount on a paycheck, but I have flexibility. I might work around the clock right now doing 10 million different things I can't even keep up with. But I'm able to say yes to certain stuff. Like I'm able to say yes to Arizona Fashion Week because of the fact that I didn't stick myself. And it's not to say that 9 to 5s at all are bad.
Oh, not at all.
There's some people that works for them, and by all means, perfect.
Absolutely.
That works for you, go for it. But in situations like that, to where some other guy is like, you need to let go of your dreams and work here, it's like, you need to find someone who's willing to do that then, because I'm not willing to do that.
Nah.
He might be willing to do that, but we also don't know what his life looks like outside.
Exactly.
Maybe this is where his happiness comes from. Maybe he has a shitty life outside of work, and he is like, this is where I find my solace, this is where you need to find your solace.
Possibly, but I wasn't hearing that shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's where like the communication stuff needs to come in. But
absolutely.
I mean, it's all props to you for like being able to recognize that. And I know a lot of people, a lot of times it's like, well, if you want to do that, you need to save up like 3 to 6 months worth of income to be able to give. Did you do that, or did you just no
I didn't do that at all, because it's just like you're saying, like when I'm gonna have kids, or when I'm gonna buy a house, or when I'm gonna do this, like all that stuff, it happens how it happens. It's not like, if you can plan that, great, plan it, that works for you, but that doesn't work for me. I'm more of an organic person. Like a lot of things, just like I gotta like do a few things to be comfortable to where I want to be, like sitting down and just, I have to like, I have to just be free. I can't feel like I'm locked down, like growing up in the South, that's exactly how you feel. You feel like you're locked down. And when I reached the age where I can be free, I created my own damn wings and attached them on my back, because I was like, I cannot do this. I have to be free. So I didn't do the thing where like a lot of people, they, like you said, save a lot of money, do those things. No, I just kept myself relevant. And when I put out something, I would get paid for it.
Okay, so it was more of just like, because you weren't dedicating the time to the job, you had enough time to dedicate to your craft to where you were able to make it work.
Absolutely.
And so you were still financially supporting yourself at that point, though,
and
right?
And also my boyfriend, he works a 9 to 5, and he also doing makeup. So we're just a perfect like partner, because he wherever I fall off on, he picks up. Wherever he follows on, I pick up. So that made it a lot easier. I'm pretty sure if I was by myself and doing it, that it would have been a little different. but since I have a great support system out here in Arizona. Like I have people that I can call family. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I have no actually blood here. He's pretty much my only blood, if you want to consider it like that. But no, I didn't do that, and I don't want to do that. Maybe once I become a billionaire, and I'll hire somebody to do something like that. Yeah. But right now, it's just it's like you say, like, because I'm so flexible, I'm able to do so many different hustles. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to always be me sitting behind a sewing machine and sewing the outfit. It could be me selling the fan. It could be me doing my sewing classes. It could be me hopping on the podcast. It could be me doing my own fashion shows. Like I think about all of it. I don't think about one thing, because I know you have to get money from different revenues, because the one stream is just not going to work. Yeah. So I learned that very quick. If I want to be an entrepreneur, what I had to do, I had to figure it out from different streams, and not just focus on fashion or sewing, or focus on fashion, but just make a pie of fashion and just cut slices of where I would divide my time out to. Yeah. If that makes sense.
So you said you did go to school, though, for business.
Yes.
And you have a degree in business?
Yes, I have a bachelor's in business.
So I'm assuming then that does help, though, with being able to run your own business.
Oh, absolutely.
As like I'm obviously an entrepreneur myself, but I never went to school for it. And I was always saying, like, business is something very iffy to go to school for, because of the fact of you can technically go through mentorships and do all that. But I tell people, if they're going to go to school, go for marketing and psychology usually, because that way you can understand that.
So I didn't want to go to school for business at all. I wanted to actually go to school for design and arts. But my mom, of course, she made me, go to school for business. Right. And I would say, from like the business part about it all, like, you're right. Like I didn't know nothing about that, so I was just like business. What's those, like, general electives? Like, I was doing like stuff like that, so, because I didn't know actually what I want to do in college. So I just said a business would probably be the best thing. But I'm glad I did do it, because it did help out with a whole lot of things as far as me understanding business and stuff like that. And then I'm still working with an advisor now to take my brand to the next level.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff he's teaching me is stuff that I learned in college, and it's like now it's coming back and stuff like that. So
it's able to revamp the brand a little
it's
bit.
revamping. So I'm like, maybe she was right. I'm gonna give it to her. She was right.
It's actually, I mean, depending on obviously what you want to do, like if you have a trajectory of what you want to do with the degree, like that's what like military or degrees or anything, like they're resume builders. It's not something directly like, oh, this is going to give me a career. It's something that like it's supposed to help you with a career. And that's why a lot of people, when they get business degrees, they just go to manage other people's companies, and that's why it doesn't work. Versus like, I'm getting this degree so I can learn about how to grow my own business and stuff.
That makes sense.
So it's like learning how to utilize it, and that's one of the things, unfortunately, I feel like definitely lacks in today's society is like. When someone gets a degree, they automatically think they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to get out and make 6 figures. It's like, I mean, you have the potential to do that if you find the right job. And a lot of times, those jobs do want you to have either X amount of years of experience or a degree. So you can do that. But you have to put the due diligence in to find that job. After you get the degree.
And I knew I wasn't going to do that. I knew I wasn't going to do it because that's not something I even, like, I had to be passionate. I had to like it just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Before I'm wanting to go out for all these jobs and stuff. And originally, that's what I was doing because I'm listening to my mom. I don't know why my eye twitched. Originally, that's why I was doing because that's what my mom wanted me to do. And she was on dialysis at the time. She needed a kidney. Oh, wow. So I was really gullible to anything she asked and told me to do because I'm like, what if she pass away and then I don't graduate from college? Just all she talked about me is graduate from college. So I'm just going to go ahead and graduate from college. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm glad I didn't do like the traditional thing where I would go out and start looking for jobs and stuff like that because I feel like I would have really lost myself. And I don't know if you ever felt this way. It's like, if you feel like you just meant for something, and if you don't do that, you feel it eating away at you every time you do something that you're not supposed to be doing. And I was feeling like that for a long time. So I was like, I cannot keep feeling like this. I have to go out to what I want to go out to. And I would look at like mentor videos or motivational videos because I'm just like, well, these people went out after what they wanted. What did they do? So I started listening to those and I'm getting all this like inspiration and knowledge like, okay, well, you gotta do this, you gotta take that voice and shut the hell up in the back and you can't really question yourself, you gotta be true to your talents, and if you don't know how to do nothing, then just learn, just stay down, like don't go out to the clubs, don't go out to eat every day, just like focus on the brand, focus on the talent, and that's what I end up doing, and I can see it paying off. I got a lot, don't get me wrong, I got a long way to go, and I know what I gotta do, but I think the best thing is that I know what I got to do, and I'm not just over here like twiddling my thumbs and shit, you know what I'm saying? So know that I know what I got to do. I'm glad I have like an advisor who's like talking to me, who's telling me like, okay, well, you on the right path. Let's get here. Let's get here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Because the creative part is here. The business part is what I need to now focus more on.
Which honestly, that's how most of the top brands are. I mean, you really think that the CEO of Louis is everything? No, he has a couple hundred people below him that
absolutely,
because that's literally how the best businesses grow. Is it's not about surrounding yourself with people that aren't as smart as you. It's about being in the room, being the dumbest person in the room, and being like, look, I know what I want to do. I want to design this shit. I don't know anything about numbers. I don't know anything about business. I don't know anything about marketing. I'm gonna let y'all do all that. I'm gonna do the main part, which is the which is the designing and that kind of stuff. But allocating the other stuff to people that love it more, people that might be better than you at it, because that's the best way it's gonna grow.
And you know what? I want to do this so bad, and I'm just so hands on with everything. It's hard for me to be like, okay, go.
It's hard. Yeah, it is very hard. But when you can learn to do that is when the most freedom comes, because then you're like, oh, I can allocate this, but then you realize that you can start taking on more of your own stuff.
You are 100% right, because I just did a show. It's called the Juneteenth Gala Fashion Show, and I'm over here like getting everybody together, getting the model together, getting the designers together, you know, just the whole show, right? And so the day of the show, I have all these people here to help me and to support and do this and do that. And so when something happens, I'm like trying to jump. They're like, no, we got this. Like, you stay back here, finish.
You hired me for a reason.
No, this is exactly what they were saying. And even one of the designers, her name is Sarah, she just opened up a boutique called Goddess Bridal Boutique downtown Phoenix, like maybe 4 minutes from my house. And she was such a big support. She was like, Lamark, like, I can go down there and talk to hair and makeup and make sure they get these models done before these models. I'm like, no, they're not going to listen to you. She's like, Lamark, they're going to listen to me. And I'm like, okay, let me. Yeah, so I think that's one of my biggest issues is letting go some, because I feel like if something fails, I rather fail for me than me having expectation that you can do something and then you fail. You know?
Well, I mean, it's instilled in us. I feel like a lot of people from a young age, if you want something done, you gotta do it yourself. And a lot of times, you have such a passion behind what you're doing, you want to see it done right.
Yes.
And you have a very specific vision of how you want to do it. And there might be a little bit of concern of whether or not a person that you're hiring understands it and sees it the same way that you do, because you don't want to put that much and be like, oh, well, all the time that you spent doing it, I could have been doing it and making sure. And so it's that little hump that you have to jump over of like, okay, I'll test the waters and see what you can do. Maybe give them like a smaller project at first and then work the way. Like, obviously, don't shove everything. I'm like, all right, here's a whole brand.
Right.
I expect you to be everything, but like, give them little things. I mean, I even have to do that with my own thing. I'm used to the show being mine, but now I'm I'm bringing someone on to help a little bit with like asking interview questions and stuff. And for me, I have a very specific, like not very specific way I want this to go. Like, I'm very open of how I want this to go, but I don't want generalized stuff. I don't want surface level shit. I want to go below the surface. I want to be one of those podcasts that's very much like, it's almost a therapy session in a way. It's like, oh, I haven't actually told anyone this. Right. Actually, like, I just realized I've never told anyone this kind of shit. Like, I want to be that kind of.
Absolutely.
And it's hard. It's very difficult.
Pull it out. I get it.
But that's training that I'm doing, and I don't know if everyone else is doing that training too. And so bringing someone else in, it's like, when I'm like, okay, what kind of questions are you thinking about asking? They tell me, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I think now what I look for when I have people that work for me, because a lot like, oh, you just get an assistant is not that easy.
No.
Like I have to have somebody. Similar to what you're saying, they have to already have a passion for this.
Yeah.
They gotta already know kind of what to do, and so when you give them certain things, it can be done. And you know, the line of question may not be exactly how you want it, but it's still giving the effect. You're still putting out the emotion that need to be pulled out for the interview. So I totally get you on that, and I'm still working on that. My boyfriend will tell you, he's like, do not ask Lamark any questions day of the show if he's already went over it. Yeah. Because that's when I go crazy. I'm just like, we talked about this like 10 times.
I feel that.
But no, it's cool.
That's awesome. Is there anything specifically that we haven't been able to touch base on about your brand that you want everyone to know?
Not really, but I would just say my brand is it comes from a place of dreaming. You know what I'm saying, and dreaming out loud and daydreaming and kind of figuring out what do you want your life to look like. And for me, it was, I want to obviously motivate and inspire. I also want to be happy with whatever I do. I also want to, when I walk into the room, that I command attention in a way that I can network and I can speak without speaking. You know what I'm saying? Right. And fashion for me has been that. And so my brand is to give you all of those things in whatever piece that I create, you know. And I'm just super excited to be able to showcase myself, because a lot of people don't know how to express themselves because they get caught up in whatever life is thrown their way. And I have the same situations, but it's just like, no, I'm still going to express myself. And so my brand is pretty much that expression where you can just show up. You're going through what you're going through, but tonight I'm going to look good, I'm going to network, I'm going to have a good time, and I'm going to let my outfit win.
Heck yeah, I love it. I love it. Well,
pretty much.
Lamark, thank you so much for being on and
Thanks for having me.
Letting us in on your mind of creativity and everything.
Yes.
I'm going to let you do that little outro that I was telling you about.
Okay, yeah. Okay, it's Lamark Cole. I've been masked.
So, hi, my name is Lamark.
Lamark Cole.
Yeah, and then I've just been unmasked.
I've just been unmasked.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Lamark Cole, and I have just been unmasked. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Should I do it right now, right here?
Yeah, go for it.
Hi, my name is Lamark Cole, and I've just been unmasked.
Woo, shit. Okay.